One night, Eminem completely lost control over himself. He picked up a gun and went out searching someone. And what happened next changed everything forever. From the streets of Detroit came a boy named Marshall Mathers. Today the world knows him as Eminem. Since childhood, his life was filled with struggles and pain. Poverty and bullying were part of his everyday life. He was never really accepted in school at any point. Every day his confidence kept breaking slowly inside. But something inside him was constantly building up. That was anger, slowly turning into something dangerous. Music became his escape from this harsh reality. But his personal life was just as complicated too. Especially his relationship with Kim was extremely toxic. Fights and trust issues kept increasing between them. Every day brought a new argument and emotional breakdown. Eminem started feeling mentally unstable because of everything. But the real problem was just about to begin. What happened next was something no one expected. And that moment was about to change everything. His past was not ready to leave him alone. Every memory kept repeating again and again in his mind. His patience was slowly running out completely. And anger started taking control of his thinking. But the real twist was still yet to come. A small incident was about to trigger everything. And from there the story turned into a darker direction. What happened next was shocking and unexpected. Eminem was entering a dangerously unstable mindset. And the situation was about to go out of control. This was the moment where everything started changing. And its impact was going to last forever. But the real twist was still yet to come. One day Eminem saw something that shocked him deeply. He saw Kim getting close with another man. That man was John Guerra, who was present there. Seeing that moment, Eminem completely lost control. His anger instantly reached a dangerous level. He was unable to handle the situation emotionally. But the real twist was still yet to come. He immediately thought of taking an extreme decision. He got into his car without thinking twice. And left with a gun to confront that man. This was no longer just anger. It became obsession. His mind was not working clearly at that moment. Every second his anger kept getting more intense. But what happened next was even more shocking. He reached directly to the location where that man was. The situation was slowly going out of control. And this could easily turn into a serious crime. Eminem suddenly confronted that man without hesitation. People around were shocked and started panicking. But what happened next was something no one expected. In Eminem's eyes, only anger and pain were visible. He didn't even try to calm the situation at all. His focus was locked on only one thing. That confrontation, which had now become inevitable. But the real twist was still yet to come. At that moment he didn't think about consequences. His emotions had completely taken over his actions. Every second the situation kept getting more intense. And people started stepping back out of fear. What happened next became even more dangerous. Eminem showed the gun clearly and made threats. That moment was extremely tense for everyone present. No one understood what they were supposed to do. The situation could explode within just a second. But the real twist was still yet to come. This was no longer just an argument anymore. It had turned into a serious criminal situation. And with every second, the risk kept increasing. What happened next was something no one expected. Eminem's anger had reached its absolute peak. His breathing had become fast and aggressive. He was losing control over himself completely. But one small moment could change everything. But the real twist was still yet to come. If he had taken one more step forward, the result could have been completely different. This was a dangerous turning point in his life. Everything was about to be decided in seconds. What happened next was shocking and unexpected. Suddenly the situation started calming down slightly. People stepped in and tried to intervene quickly. They tried stopping Eminem from going any further. This was a crucial moment where everything could stop. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem left that place, but the problem didn't end. This incident had now turned into a legal issue. And consequences were now about to begin. What happened next changed his life completely. People were still standing there in complete shock. Witnesses started discussing what they had just seen. The situation had clearly become a serious issue. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem reached home but couldn't calm himself. That same scene kept repeating inside his mind. Anger and regret were both disturbing him deeply. But he still didn't explain anything to anyone. What happened next was something no one expected. The argument with Kim became more intense than ever before. Both of them started blaming each other continuously without stopping. Their relationship kept becoming more toxic with every passing moment. Trust between them had completely broken at that point. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem's mental state slowly started becoming more unstable. He began understanding the consequences of his actions now. But the damage had already been done in the situation. And now he had no choice but to face everything. What happened next was even more serious. The information about the incident had already reached the police. Authorities decided to officially begin an investigation. Witnesses were contacted to give their statements about everything. The case slowly started building officially in the system. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem realized that the situation had escalated badly. He tried to take control of everything around him. But everything had already slipped out of his hands. And the consequences were now waiting for him. What happened next changed his life completely. Eminem left the place, but the situation had become serious. Witnesses informed the police about the entire incident. The case started getting officially recorded in the system. Eminem understood that the problem had now become legal. But the real twist was still yet to come. Police began collecting statements carefully from all witnesses. Every detail was noted down properly for investigation purposes. The involvement of a gun made the case more serious. Charges in this situation could become extremely heavy. What happened next was something no one expected. Eminem received a legal notice within just a few days. He realized that the matter was now out of control. A meeting with lawyers was arranged immediately after that. A strategy was prepared to handle the case properly. But the real twist was still yet to come. Media also started covering the incident aggressively. His name began appearing in headlines with negative context. His public image started getting affected very strongly. Fans were confused about what the truth actually was. What happened next became even more intense. Weapon-related charges were considered against Eminem. The situation could turn into a serious criminal case. His career also started getting affected by this incident. People in the industry began discussing this situation. But the real twist was still yet to come. Court proceedings were about to officially begin soon. Eminem slowly started realizing his mistakes deeply. But the pressure kept building continuously inside his mind. Every day became mentally exhausting for him to handle. What happened next was something no one expected. Evidence was presented and statements were carefully verified. The judge started evaluating the case very seriously. Eminem's behavior could be used against him in court. The situation had become risky and completely unpredictable. But the real twist was still yet to come. The defense team argued that he was emotionally unstable. They claimed there was no real intent to cause harm. This point could influence the final outcome of the case. But the decision was still completely unclear at that moment. What happened next was an unexpected turn. The court considered options to keep him out of jail. Probation appeared as a possible outcome in the case. This could become a warning moment for his future. But the consequences were still not completely over. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem was given probation instead of a jail sentence. This felt like a second chance opportunity for him. But his image had already been damaged publicly. People started looking at him in a very different way. What happened next changed his life again. He started reflecting deeply on all his mistakes. Anger management became an important focus in his life. He tried controlling his behavior in a better way. But his past was not ready to leave him easily. But the real twist was still yet to come. He shifted his focus completely toward music again. He started spending more time inside the studio daily. In every lyric, he expressed his pain and emotions. This process slowly helped him begin to heal mentally. What happened next became a powerful transformation. Fans started noticing a clear change in his music. His storytelling became more real and emotionally intense. People started connecting deeply with his experiences. That connection became the base of his growing success. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem accepted his dark past completely within himself. He made it a part of his identity and expression. This approach made him unique and highly relatable. But the risk of that past always stayed with him. What happened next was deeply emotional. He openly discussed his mistakes during interviews. His honesty brought people closer to him emotionally. But critics still continued judging him harshly. This mixed reaction became part of his career journey. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem converted his anger into creative energy. That became the biggest turning point of his growth. He gave his life a completely new direction. But past incidents can never be fully erased. What happened next was a powerful realization. He understood that control is the most important thing in life. If control is lost, everything can be destroyed instantly. This lesson became the core foundation of his entire life. And he started applying it seriously in his daily actions. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem continued his journey forward with strong determination. He chose to learn from his mistakes and move ahead. This mindset kept making him stronger with every step. And his career slowly started growing again. What happened next was truly inspiring. He began building his legacy step by step. Fans started getting inspired by his real-life story. But his past always stayed with him like a shadow. And it became a permanent part of his identity. But the real twist was still yet to come. Behind every success, his struggles played a major role. That is what made him relatable for so many people. He turned his own story into a powerful strength. And that decision completely changed his life. What happened next was the final phase. Eminem learned how to balance his life properly. He started gaining control over his emotions slowly. This growth was clearly visible in his personality. But one question was still left unanswered. But the real twist was still yet to come. After the case, his public image was deeply affected. The media portrayed him as a controversial figure. But his fans never stopped supporting him. That support meant everything to him during that time. But the real twist was still yet to come. He started rebuilding his reputation from scratch. He worked on improving his image through positive actions. The process was slow, but it proved to be effective. People slowly began accepting him once again. What happened next was quite surprising. Eminem showed a noticeable change in his behavior. He learned how to control his anger properly. This change also reflected in his personal life. His relationships slowly started becoming more stable. But the real twist was still yet to come. He began openly sharing his journey with everyone. Fans started connecting deeply with his experiences. That connection became his biggest strength. And his popularity began rising once again. What happened next was very impactful. Eminem had now become a global icon. His story turned into inspiration for millions worldwide. But his past never completely disappeared from his life. It always remained a part of his journey. But the real twist was still yet to come. He never tried to hide his past mistakes. Instead, he chose to accept them openly. That honesty became his biggest strength. And people started respecting him even more. What happened next was truly meaningful. Eminem turned his life into a real example. He proved that change is always possible. If a person is willing to learn from mistakes. That message became powerful for all his fans. But the real twist was still yet to come. His story became both a warning and inspiration. It showed how dangerous losing control can be. That incident became the biggest lesson of his life. And he never allowed himself to forget it. What happened next was the final conclusion. Eminem completely transformed his entire life. He accepted his past and chose to move forward. That decision became the reason behind his success. And he built a strong and lasting legacy. But the real twist was still yet to come. Even today, people remember that night clearly. It was a turning point in his entire life. If he had lost control, everything would be over. But he chose the right direction in the end. But the real twist was still yet to come. One decision in life can change everything forever. For Eminem, that moment was that very night. He learned how to control his anger properly. And that became the base of his success. What happened next is a lesson for everyone. Every person has a dark side within themselves. The only difference is who learns to control it. Eminem learned how to handle his dark side, and that became his greatest strength eventually, but the real twist was still yet to come. If that night had gone differently, somehow, then this story might not even exist today. That one decision changed everything in his life, and it became the path of his destiny. What happened next is the final thought. Can you control your anger when it takes over, or will it control you someday without warning? That is a choice every person must make, and it decides the direction of their life. But the real twist was still yet to come. Eminem's story is not just about a rapper, it is a lesson about control and life choices, and every person can learn something from it. All it takes is understanding and applying it, and that is why he is still considered a legend today.